Oh, rolling. Oh, what do you mean? Do me a favor and hand me a Red Bull? Because I know I'm going to run out of energy since I've just woken up halfway through the thing.
Sponsored video?
Sponsored. This video is sponsored by Red Bull. We have sponsored ourselves. We paid for this Red Bull ourselves, and I don't believe we're wasting. You know, let me open up my iPad and pretend to be like I know everything. Like I've been in the thing for quite a while. Sorry, you know, it's in the interface, Sylvia. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Versace motherfucker, get the goddamn name straight. It's the title. I got this by killing 3 people.
Versace.
Got this guy killing 3 people.
Versace.
And a bottle of sashimi. Is that how it is? Is that an instrument or is that a food?
Sashimi?
Sashimi?
Yeah.
It's food.
It's food.
It's raw fish.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Because Shao keeps talking about, you know, salty fish all the time. You know, like, salty fish, you know, you're as useless as salty fish. He always keeps sending me this hanging up, you know, like, you know, upside down fish, you know? It's like, you know, like, this is how I'm gonna make a joke to troll her.
Dried.
Yeah, dried fish.
Dried
Dried
fish.
fish. She just said dried fish all the time. Like, this is what you are right now. I was like, well, okay, thank you. I don't know. That doesn't offend me because I don't understand what the hell.
Yeah, what does that
No,
mean?
what the hell is this sort of dry? The fish that is hanging upside down. You know, I guess for the Chinese community, that's a very big insult. Dried fish. I'm like,
I've dishonored my ancestors.
You did it.
okay, so, alright, let's start. So guys, here we are with another episode of Geek Talk, which has been renamed Geek Talk from Game Talk, because we talk about a lot of geeky stuff, you know, that has nothing to do with gaming. Well, it's mostly gaming, but yeah, that's it. You know, we tackle the issues, the main issues of the nerd culture. We try to solve them here, like a news show or like a talk show of some sort, professional talk. Let me just stop blocking out. Our host, sorry, Kenji. Our guest today is Kenji, a very awesome guy. Oh, you love him? He's cool. No, I'm sorry. Kenji is one of the key members in the community, gaming community here in Qatar, esports community. He knows his way around the Super Smash, so he knows how to smash. By smash, I mean controllers when he's upset. Zing! So yeah, he's cool. And he's been a supporter of One Up Game Sector for quite a while. And the channel as well. This has not been the first time where he appeared on our channel. Last time he appeared in a different outfit, but this time he's representing. He's setting to represent the community. One Up Game Sector.
Gotta represent the community, man.
So
How it goes, how it goes. Look at this.
Yeah,
Look at this.
Yes.
We got lovely One Up right here.
That's the rest.
Lovely sponsors, 974 of course.
Yeah, you get Khalifa's.
Gotta represent, man.
He's there with us. So, anyways, Kenji, I wanna sit down, you know, and have a discussion, you know, joined by our awesome peeps, you know, from One Up. I want to ask you, since you know you've been working, you know, into growing the community, the game community here in Qatar to make it a bit more professional, you want to make it more of a kind of like an official kind of in a way a business, you know.
Yeah.
So of course, you know, because nothing can stay afloat without you know income at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted you to give me a description of your idea of what is an esport community. You know, like can you just give it to me in your own words?
Okay, so how I see it, an official esport community is where you have, of course, you gotta have great organizers. By the name organizer, they have to be organized.
Absolutely.
They have a schedule. They have, of course, the talents. You know, they have to do their bracketing. They have to do they have to have a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you know, with all that talent and you're not showing it off.
Yeah.
You know, you have a community with great players, with great skills, great mindsets.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not showing everyone else. That's, you know,
so
that's
it has
a problem.
To be run, you know, like a proper business.
Yeah.
It has
So
to be run
if you want to go fully, you know, esport and you know aware of all the rules and how the game is being played,
Yeah.
especially with the top players everywhere else internationally,
Mm-hmm.
we want to reach that level.
Yeah.
Okay, so we try our best to showcase, or not showcase, but we're trying to show our players with their skills and how good they're improving, you know. So we're far from being official here because, you know, being in Qatar, not a lot of people are aware, you know, esports is an actual thing.
Yeah.
You know, people dedicate most of their lives practicing one game,
Absolutely.
perfecting their performance and all of that, maintaining their ranks.
That's true.
Because there's not much backers to this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if let's say you're a football player.
Yeah.
in Qatar, a football player is something really big.
Absolutely, because there's demand for it.
Yeah, exactly. And it becomes a profession. You get paid lots of money to play for a sports club, and then you get you get to play in the national team and all that. Why can't we have that for esport, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I would also want to hear you guys' question in case you guys had a question, because I might miss out on a few stuff. So please, I would ask you guys to come in and throw in your questions.
Yeah, I mean, I have all the answers. You guys can ask me any question.
I will start. I will start by having a question. If football took a long time, you already know how we're in a very small country, right? And it takes a while to. Most stadiums don't get filled up unless it's a major kind of
Of course,
big, So and there's nothing wrong with that. You gotta understand the limits.
Yeah, of course.
So see how long that took for us to build these massive stadiums and make it into an international. We become an international renowned force in the football.
Of course, yeah.
What is it? It's not an industry, but it's like more scene,
Yeah.
So, which is way bigger than the scene.
Yeah.
Don't you think this will take a long time? I can see how it's moving forward. I mean, wow, the difference between I remember when One Up started and how the whole esports scene in Qatar was, barely hanging compared to how it is today.
Yeah.
It's really different. Actually. I'm not trying to shill or brag here, but since One Up, popped up into the picture, the esport in general, the gaming scene in Qatar, has changed dramatically. You still go about one step behind, and you see how the shops used to be here in Qatar. It's way different how it used to be before. So when it evolved, it kind of pushed, it brought forth the community, the esport community back into the scene. And bear in mind, I'm bringing it from. I'm describing it how I'm seeing it. I could be very wrong. I'm not part of that community, so I'm just sitting on the side. I'm just describing how things transform, and I'm really happy. But my question is, don't you think it will take a long time to get people who are there, who have basically with resources to go in and fund and make the whole scene interesting for other people who are aspiring to become esport professional players to join in, or at least maybe take their hobby to the next step. Don't you think it's going to take some time? It will need some time.
Of course, it's going to take a long time because this is like a skill you're trying to invest in, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So playing a game is not. Oh, you're not going to wake up one day with a new game that's just been released and instantly a god tier player. Mm. All right. So you're practicing. We've been running Smash since 2015. Mm. So we've been playing for a really long time now. Yes. So, of course, we have really good players who've been playing for years and years, even before we started making tournaments. Yeah. Super Smash Brothers was a really popular game ever since it came out on the 64. Mm-hmm. All right. So, I mean, in terms of how this country is going to back it, it all depends on how, most governments or sponsor-wise companies would, see this as a new market. Yeah. And it has a potential to grow. Absolutely. I mean, the world around us are all evolving into esports, and it's been accepted to Olympics. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. So I'm still wondering why Qatar isn't investing in esports, because it's a new market. Absolutely. And generally, the newer generations tend to go to electronic sports. True. With all the Fortnite and what's called PUBG and all these games that a handheld or computer, whatever it is. Mm. So this is a new market they can invest in. But here's what I'm like an offer might be. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I as a business owner, I get this criticism all the time. Why do the shops not sponsor it? And we as a business owners, we sit down and it's like, why isn't the state sponsoring us? So and how I look at it from now that I've had like some interaction with people who are within they have the power, the resource to invest, and they just say that there's no benefit, there's no demand, and it starts. I think the issue starts from all the way on the gamer level. Gamers tend to want to do or want to have a lot. Why is there no gaming scene? I love this game, I love that. There's just no demand. You love it, but there's plenty of other people who are not willing to invest the time. Not just the time. Or like I'm not gonna pitch in 50 riyal to go in, and so or like $10 to go to pay for an entry fee. That's too much for me. Big shops should do it for free,
and they should have massive. Look at what people do outside. You know, look at what.
Yeah.
So with that, I would love to direct the question to Rob for just a second.
Charlotte, yeah.
Rob, how is, you know, I know there is no comparison, of course, whatsoever. But how is the gaming community in the Philippines regarding the esports side? Not just gamers in general.
Yeah.
You guys got numbers. You guys got people who have been in the gaming way before. You know, it was an interesting thing, or people were interested in this thing way before we were. So, but as an esport team, from what I remember Leo was talking about how it's massive. Everyone, Trumps will be sponsoring teams. Everyone will have their own team.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and people watch. You know, they've got fans. You know, it's like a football football.
Yeah,
Play.
yeah, it's a big
So,
thing.
how does it compare to Qatar? And what do you think that the Philippines that they've got? You know, in your opinion, you know, of course,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
an official statement. You know, how do you think what do they got that they've been doing? That I'm not gonna say better, but what made it that big? You know, you know.
Yeah, I feel like because in our country they've been doing it for so long, for all I can remember, it's like years now.
Yes.
Like since Red Alert, this type of games. Yeah,
Wow.
there's like a computer shop already, like
Yes.
everywhere.
Yes.
So I think maybe because of the usually the placement of the computer shops made an impact for the gamers. You know,
Yeah.
like in every neighborhood there's one gaming shop
Absolutely.
that you know.
Yeah.
So that's it. Maybe
So
it
it's
helps a
part of
lot.
the culture now.
Yeah, it's a culture thing, yeah.
People grow up. They just want to go and play.
Yeah, on the esports side, I think because I feel like there's more sponsors, like like for example MSI and
Yes.
Asus.
Yes.
It's pretty much in
why
reach.
Do you think they sponsor over there and they don't offer as much sponsor as like within the GCC when there's more money to be made?
I think the logistic, because for example, MSI is located in I think Korea, right?
Okay.
Korea and Asus from Taiwan, right? So pretty much probably the logistic.
You don't think it's demand?
Also, yeah, of course, the demand
The
is
number
there.
of people you
The
get.
market
Yeah.
is also very massive, and business level wise, businessmen in the Philippines is very. Well, they're all risk takers, boss.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So they
I'm
always.
sorry to interrupt you. Sylvia. There's something on that. You've worked with like MSI or Asus, I believe, right? You've worked with them. You've seen when they're renting out the halls. So they do a lot, right? They're willing to because they know there's numbers. There's people who are gonna come in and even
And every time like they release some new stuff, they really like rent a very big place to
Okay.
hold the event.
yes, that's true.
They really,
We'll need to invest in the community. I'm not the community in the
Yes.
industry. Why do you think they do that there and they never have hosted an event here when it's much more easier to buy?
I believe it's because of the market, really. And since Philippines is very well, in Asia mostly, games are very well known already.
Absolutely.
And since Boss has mentioned, it has been the gaming industry has been there since forever. I mean, in the whole Asia side.
Yes.
So I think it's very easy for them to market it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's the way I see it. The first time I've heard of one up here, I actually thought it was very rare for like a Middle East country to have this sort of community.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So I thought it was like a taboo or of some sort.
Yeah, totally understand. It's a culture
Like
thing.
very small.
Absolutely.
And I also noticed that even after all the I don't know if it's okay to mention this, but the event that we've had last time with the FIFA event, AE Magazine and Red Bull, even though the marketing was very massive, they really
They did a good
Did
job.
everything.
Yeah. They did everything they could.
everything. But then
But there's still no.
You
Yeah.
expected more.
Yeah.
I literally expected
Because you can see it from
hundreds of
the
people
like
coming.
streets. There's like big poster, like a
Exactly.
TV there.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason I don't know.
Also, I think for them it was a shock in a way. They also expected more, but this is as much as you can. Like for me, sometimes we complain about one up. Like, hey, it's not.
Yeah.
It's empty. There's no one there. Absolutely, we cannot market anymore, Kenji. When it's vacation, you guys know what happened. It's a fucking war zone. It's like we're suffocating. We cannot even. I don't even want to stay in the shop anymore. There's just a war zone. I'm like, fighting. It's busy. But so that we cannot do more in order to. Everyone knows us and everyone loves us.
Yeah.
Of course, thanks to the community, thanks for the games who come in, and the awesome staff for for making sure the business runs the way it does. So that's by no means I'm bragging or anything. It was a hard thing that was achieved because a lot of people put their effort into making sure that they reach where we reach today. And we cannot expand anymore. But this is just how it is. This is how the community is. You just can't expand anymore. And this is as far as it goes. This is a reality that you have to understand. Yeah. Many other shops who try way overboard by being so big.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy because I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Because the last event, we had like a very big amount of prize
budget,
right?
Yeah.
So I seriously expected more.
No. I think because it's not run by Red Bull, it's organized by Red Bull, but the tournament, it's not labeled as a Red Bull tournament. It's labeled as Ahmed Megasib's Red Bull. Maybe it's something like that.
I don't believe. I mean, I know Ahmed. Ahmed is a really great guy. I think the reason why the numbers weren't as expected was because there were multiple FIFA tournaments in such short time.
And events, right?
Yeah, because there was the Virtual City one, there was the Ahmed Megasib one, there was one run by, I don't know, someone else.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of FIFA tournaments, and then as a FIFA player, you look at 3 tournaments and like, I don't have time for all of them.
Yeah.
I gotta pick what I think is the best one.
What lines with my time?
Yeah, what lines with his time, and
schedule,
especially nowadays with people who are still in school or like in colleges. This is exams week. We have finals next week.
Absolutely, yes. But be careful, guys. It's gonna get held. By the way, so recording this video will be very hard. Just saying, guys.
It will come.
Now, a question to go back to ask you now, because I'm asking the guys what they think.
Yeah.
What do you think of the the difference between how why is it not bigger than that the way it should? Why it should be bigger, but it's not there yet? And I know you guys been doing your best.
Yeah, my standing in this is we need to educate people because we're trying so hard and we're trying to present this new market, and in order for us to grow, people need to be aware that people actually spend their times on video games and they want to actually. Maybe want to compete someday and say Evo or, all these big events internationally. But in order to do that, most of our players are at a young age.
Yes, absolutely.
All right,
absolutely.
so they don't have, say, a salary.
Yes.
Okay, so they cannot afford their own tickets to fly abroad. And even if they did, I'm pretty sure they won't spend it to play a tournament overseas.
But why do most kids want to go? They're like, hey, I in order to make a name for myself, I need to get the first place in the international tournament.
Yeah.
Why is it our Super Smash Communities tournaments here are not considered a major tournament where I can prove myself out?
All right. See, this is where a player would make a name for himself in an international tournament, and then when that happens, say you got not even first place in an international tournament, so you got second place.
Yeah.
All right. You get enough exposure for people to see. You're like, okay, this unknown player from this unknown country got this placement.
Yeah.
So that means his country has really good players.
Okay.
And I want to compare my skill level to that country.
Yeah.
So whenever that country has a major tournament and then they send out invitations internationally, a lot of people will be,
interested in joining.
Run and gun to that country. This is where that player got second place in that one international tournament. I want to see their skill level.
I didn't see it that way from your side. Now that you mentioned, it makes a lot of sense actually. Yes.
Yeah.
It's always going to be beneficial to the team.
Yeah. Let me give you an example. Last Evo, Tekken 7 tournament, a player called Arsalan Ash got first place. He's a Pakistani player.
Wow.
Oh, I heard about that.
Sponsored by UAE.
Nice.
Yes. So he plays for UAE.
Yeah.
And he got first place. And out of nowhere, all these guys who follow, Tekken tournaments, they're like, a guy from Pakistan. This is really weird. This has never happened before.
Yeah, of course.
And then they're like, so they started researching Pakistan and their streams and all the play. Pakistan has really good Tekken players.
Yeah. Really?
Even in Dota.
Even
they
Dota,
have
most Pakistanis, they play everything. All right, so they play specifically fighting games. There's a lot of Pakistanis that play Tekken, Street Fighter, all these unknown 2D fighters. And they're really good players, but their only problem is they don't go out.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very hard for them to move around internationally.
So you mean it's the same thing as Qatar, that they don't have exposure for...
Exactly. They don't have enough exposure. But for that one player, everybody started researching Pakistan. There's a top player called Nee in Tikken. I think he was supposed to go to one tournament. I don't remember where exactly, but he switched from that tournament and went to Pakistan to play against Pakistani players.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. This is what happens. This is what. Yeah, it's true. When the community is big and there's just so much appreciation and love from everyone, you know, people tend to, you know, put in the extra effort into going. So I like that. Now, my second question is, what's the benefit of joining an esports community? Why can I just not sit at home and just join tournaments from every now and then?
All right. So in terms of joining an esport community, one, you get this much knowledge. Of course, you know, people would tell you, oh, I can just sit at home and play online.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could, but then you have to face, especially in Qatar, you have to face lag, you have to face disconnection, you have to face people who rage quit mid-set.
That's true.
You don't want that.
Yes.
You want to get as much experience possible. A lot of players would, you know, they choose to come to gaming lounges or, you know, gather up in a majlis, you know, sitting room, and play offline because this is where you get the most experience. All right. So for me personally, if I wanted to practice, I'm not just gonna sit at home and go to training mode and like.
Yeah.
It's not natural.
That's true.
All right. You want to play against a person who is actually good. You want to test your skills. You want to test your might. You go against somebody who's really good, and this is where you gain that.
Yes.
You gain that experience.
Yes.
You actually get knowledge. You get feedback from that one person. So if I was to play a game and I want to get better, I want feedback.
Yeah.
If I play online, I'm gonna play against this guy. He's gonna leave next match, and then that's it. I'm not gonna learn anything.
Yeah.
All right. When I have somebody next to me telling me, by the way, what you did here is wrong. What you should do is A, B, and C, or you know, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So an esport community, you have a lot of people communicating. We have people that just started and instantly became really good players.
Yeah.
Because they sit with us. We tell them what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
They go home. They're like, okay, the guy told me I should do this, and less of this.
It's like a family. Like
It's definitely a family. I like for us for SSBQ, we're one big family. All right. Despite the little feuds between a few people, it's something you can work around.
Absolutely.
All right. But definitely, all the skills and knowledge we get from each other, definitely very beneficial. So like. This year we have really good players. Where last year they're like, they're not so good.
Sure.
But you know, with the repetition and you know the practice and all the tips and notes they get from top players, people get it's really amazing how people what do you call what's it called?
Oh, I got you.
They just get better so fast.
It's time, absolutely. It's time knowing at least that you got a backbone at the end of the day. Supporting you. That's really a good thing. How do you see the benefits of joining the esport community in the Philippines? What are the first benefits that you can think of? So is it like a financial support, or is it like you got a place to play, you got a place to practice?
I think Kenji already covered it up because of you have your the community with you, so you learn from it.
Absolutely.
If you're gonna play, like what he said, if you're gonna play online, he wouldn't criticize you on what you did wrong.
True. So you don't get your
feedback.
And I think the perks also is like for tournaments, there's already an organizer that can help you go there. It's pretty much
that's true.
Yeah.
For me personally, it's also like a confidence booster. You get to be motivated even more because you have people around you
yes.
who would help you.
Okay, now this is a very interesting question. I'm glad you're here, Sylvia, so you can answer me at least this thing. Why don't you see a lot of females playing, in esport teams? Is it because males dominate the sport? Is it because it's just like it's too professional, it's too much work for me? I just would like to spend my time on somewhere else, doing something that I prefer and enjoy.
I believe because male in particular are more active when it comes to gaming, the gaming industry.
Yeah.
Males are the more active ones, and females, well, for me personally, I do love gaming, but I also love to do something else.
Absolutely.
It's not the only thing that I want to do in a day. But men are very, they're very focused. especially with games. I don't know if it's because of the, what do you call this?
The alpha male mentality, the masculinity.
Maybe it's that thing. Like my brother, he could spend the whole 24 hours or even 2 days straight just playing games. Even after work, if that was me, I would be very tired. I just wanted to sleep. But the next day in the morning, I would be hyped again. I want to play this. I want to play with my friends. My friends are online. And then I would start hearing my phone dinging, Discord and stuff like that. But my brother, after work, after 4 hours of work, he's singing and all that. Once he gets home, even at 5 a.m. until 9 a.m. in the morning after work,
he's still playing.
He's still playing.
I'm guessing maybe because guys are usually led by this dominance feeling the dominant feeling, the urge of competitiveness.
They have that competitive nature.
They're very competitive.
That's natural.
Because there's a lot of teams that have been, the female-only teams that have been sponsored by companies, but they don't.
Right?
No, they do good for a bit, and then the next few years they don't hear anything of it. It's not that they're bad now, but they just stopped hearing, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's one of the things that also I wanted to hear what Sylvia thinks about that.
But to be honest, boss, maybe this year, was it this year? Like early this year, females in the Philippines are now being
sponsored.
They're coming out to the scene,
especially online, because social media is has skyrocketed. It's so massive right now, especially in the Philippines. So if you see Facebook streaming, there are a lot of girls
nowadays, a lot of people are streaming on Facebook.
Yes. But on Facebook, right?
Yeah, on
Facebook is a dead platform here where we are. So
I mean, I don't mean anything wrong, but surprisingly, it's majority of them are Filipinos.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I've seen all my Monster Hunter streams, the ones I see on Facebook, they're majority of Filipinos. They're really good players.
Really good players, right?
All right, but the streams in Tagalog, and I'm just sitting there like, I definitely understand. He's a really good player, but I don't know what he's talking about.
and they're sponsored, right? Like you can see some logos.
But even though they're sponsored, they don't look like they're sponsored.
Okay.
They sit there with their tank tops and their shorts,
jerseys,
hanging microphone with their parties.
You can see like MSI.
17-year-old looking, kids.
Yeah.
And they're sponsored.
Because there's
hundreds and thousands of viewers.
This is a very important question, guys. How do esport communities stay in business? Communities.
It all depends on where they operate and how they operate.
Yeah.
So for us, we make our money through participation fee or a registration fee.
Cool.
All right. So wherever we host a tournament, we make a deal. We're like, okay, so let's say the fee is 50 reals.
Yeah.
All right, for the tournament.
Yeah.
We talk to the owners, of course. We're like, okay, let's make a deal. Per person, it's 50. You take 30, we take 20.
Yeah.
Okay, this is how we make our money.
Makes
or
sense.
crowdfunding.
Yes.
So, say we are missing monitors to play.
Yeah.
Or a console. Or, we need new equipment. We're like, okay, guys, in order for us to give you a better experience in tournaments, we require crowdfunding to buy, per se, equipment, like this equipment.